You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Live. We're going to talk about Mike Vrabel, Tom Brady, Clay Travis in the NFL. Good God. All kinds of things, all kinds of moving parts regarding the jab, NFL policy, and the fact that, of course, the NFL sent out that big memo a while back about forfeiting games and salary and yada, yada, yada if you are a player that did not get the jab and you miss games. If enough players miss a game, they would have to forfeit and lose salary. However, the one thing that nobody talked about was, well, what happens if enough players that are vaccinated have to miss games? What's going to happen there? The NFL said they are not going to make up games, which I think was a wildly stupid idea to not build in some flexibility. I'm not sure this was the best season to go to 17 games necessarily. Or you should have just said, look, the regular season is going to be 19 weeks, and 2 extra weeks are built in for makeup games due to the Wuhan virus. Well, now, we're going to get to this. However, this is talking about Mike Vrabel. He tested positive for COVID. He's in the quarantine protocol, yada, yada, yada. But Tom Brady was in very close contact with Mike Vrabel the other day, on Saturday, the day before. After the announcement that Titans head coach Mike Vrabel tested positive for COVID-19, some have grown concerned about Tampa Bay quarterback Tom Brady, who was in close contact with Vrabel over the weekend. They're homeboys. They're really close. They're really tight. Okay? And the Titans and the Bucs played each other. I can almost guarantee you Mike Vrabel and Tom Brady were hanging out because they played together with the Patriots. Julian Edelman, they're all three very tight. Vrabel tested positive for COVID on Sunday. Brady and the Bucs played the Titans on Saturday. The head coach, Vrabel, is currently following quarantine protocols and will be retested today. ESPN's Jenna Lane stated Brady and Vrabel spent quite a bit of time chatting it up prior to Saturday's preseason game. Vrabel just announced he has tested positive for COVID-19, and it's going to be an interesting week. I guess, of course, Brady will be tested by the Bucs. So, now that we've got that out of the way, here's where we're going to get to Clay Travis. Clay Travis says this. He addressed something. I brought it up when the memo came out about forfeiting games and salaries. Vrabel's positive COVID status, Outkick's Clay Travis, laid out how the current NFL COVID policies continue to promote the same consistency as the Jordan Reed injury report. Ignore that joke. Mike Vrabel has tested positive for COVID despite being vaccinated. I don't think the NFL is ready for the number of players and coaches who will be testing positive even if they are vaccinated. Going to be a massive number of games missed based on the existing NFL COVID policy. The NFL and college football both base their COVID policies on the idea that vaccines make breakthrough cases almost impossible. They don't. The longer the season goes, as a vaccine effectiveness wanes, and that's something to think about. A shit ton of people ran out and got the jab. What was it? Back in March? Back in April? And I don't know exactly how many months it lasts, okay? But as months go on, supposedly the effectiveness drops, okay? Consult with your local medical doctor. The more players and coaches will be testing positive. It's a huge mess. And the ultimate irony is, which the players and coaches all know, is that football is far more dangerous than to player health than the virus. That's Clay Travis's word, YouTube, not mine. Good God. On Saturday, Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn and defensive tackle Carlos Watkins were ruled out of the preseason game against the Texans due to COVID, an announcement made only 30 minutes before the contest. Here's the thing. The fact that Dan Quinn's the defensive coordinator, 100% of the team's football staff is fully vaccinated, meaning Quinn was up to date with the league mandate. Tracking teams' vaccination rates continue to be the primary metric for the NFL's COVID-19 guidelines, yet the progress with getting players and coaches inoculated fails in exempting players from missing games. And of course, it goes over the memo where it said essentially they could forfeit games, yada, 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 if there is an outbreak caused by unvaccinated players. Well, what happens if the players are vaccinated? Is Roger Goodell going to refuse to take a game that may be affected on a Thursday night? Is he going to refuse to do what he did last year and move a game all the way around to, say, Monday night or even Tuesday night? There was a Tuesday night game last year. It actually kind of kicked ass, to be honest with you. It was fun. Fun to watch. Will he refuse to move a game from Thursday over to a Tuesday to a Monday in order to get the game in if there's an outbreak? And how do you determine your percentage breakdown? In other words, 3 guys on the team tested positive. They're unvaccinated. Well, 12 guys tested positive and they are vaccinated. What do you do with the game then? Are you going to forfeit the game? Are they going to give up salary? Even though there might be a larger percentage of vaccinated players that test positive. The NFL and college football have a mess on their hands. They do. They absolutely have a mess on their hands with what are they going to do? That hardline stance of we're not forfeiting. Yeah, we're not moving games. We're not adding an extra week. That's stupid. That's stupid. You probably shouldn't have added an extra game to the schedule this year, so it had given you a little flexibility. But it's a 17-game schedule. They should have built in 20 weeks to get the regular season in, is what they should have done. That's what I would have done. And yeah, the Super Bowl would have been later, and everybody would have still probably watched it, okay? I mean, come on. Once again, the ridiculous part of all of this is we're talking about world-class athletes that are probably not going to see a massive health hit. Probably, YouTube, not going to see a massive health hit if they come down with the bug. I mean, let them play, for crying out loud. That would take care of all of that. Tell me what you think, Black and White Live fans. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.